Hi everyone, this is just a quick video to finish off the year about a railway station that I think is really nice. Oh, and because I'm publishing this at Christmas, it's also a Christmas video. Oh, and it's also a wildlife documentary. Alright, let's go. So I was in New South Wales recently, taking pictures on the Blue Mountains line, and decided to get off at a little station I hadn't paid much attention to before, Linden. We're 86 kilometres from central here and 523 metres above sea level, roughly halfway up to the highest parts of this line. The main thing I wanted to say about this station is that it's just really nice. Like, really nice. Like most stations in the mountains, it's a tightly curved island platform with a lovely brick building in the middle. The station first opened in August 1874 and was named Linden Tank, highlighting its primary purpose as a watering stop for steam locomotives. It only kept that name for 2 months before becoming Henderson's Platform, then got the current name of Linden 5 years later in 1879. I believe the present-day building dates from 1902, based on this slightly ambiguous City Rail era plaque celebrating its centenary in 2002. You can't see any buildings from Linden, and the railway is running along the top of a very narrow ridgeline here, surrounded by the Blue Mountains National Park on both sides. Most of the rest of this line is characterised by a narrow strip of towns that have grown out around the railway stations, but Linden is very much the exception to this. There's only 2 houses within a 500 metre radius of the station, and both of those are on the other side of the highway without easy access. The actual town of Linden is about 750 metres away at its closest point, and has a population of just 470 people, leading to just 17 passengers per day using this station on average. The road from the town ends at the station, and there's a small commuter car park, where the commuter parks their car. There are 2 other stations on this line that get less use, Zigzag and Bell, but both of those are request stops, so Linden is certainly the least used station on this line which most trains actually stop at. I think the reason for the distance from the town is probably geographic. If we look at this gradient diagram, we can see Linden is located on a slightly flatter section in amongst the line's ruling grade of 1 in 33. The very steep grades either side of the station do make it an excellent place to see, and more specifically listen to, westbound freight trains climbing towards the summit, especially when a couple of ex-Victorian Railway C-Class are involved. Why this station is so nice. For one thing, grassy platform. You cannot go wrong with a grassy platform. There are also several impeccably maintained garden beds. This is something you see a lot in New South Wales. It's a railway system with a very high level of staffing. Even Linden is staffed for a few hours each morning during the peak. And there's an evident pride in maintaining the station's appearance. The gardens and grassy platform combine to make this a damn fine place to sit down for lunch. Every station should have this. Every station. No exceptions. The view is definitely enhanced by this lovely sandstone cutting. You see this a lot in New South Wales, and I kind of like how the shape of the rock scales quite well to resemble a miniature version of the huge escarpment cliffs which the Blue Mountains are so well known for. If you're not heading into town, there's really only one other direction you can go from Linden Station, and that's out to the Great Western Highway, which runs parallel to the railway less than 50 metres away, even though you can't easily see it from the platform. The path out from the station passes through a little sandstone cutting of its own, and you can see the marks where this would have been excavated using manual hand tools. It's also a good spot for spotting copper-tailed skinks, if you're into that kind of thing. The path leads out to the highway and not really to anything else. There are no car parks here or even anywhere to pull over and pick someone up. As far as I can tell, the only real purpose of this pedestrian route is to connect with the 2 highway bus routes that come through here, the 685H from Springwood to North Hazelbrook and the 690K from Springwood to Katoomba. The buses don't even stop at the station entrance. The stop is all the way down there. I actually need to apologise to the driver of that bus. I think they only pulled over because they saw us coming out of the station and kindly stopped to wait, very reasonably assuming there's nowhere else we could be heading. But we weren't here for the bus and couldn't easily signal our non-intention to board from this distance. The path towards the bus stop doesn't have any real protection from the highway traffic, and that's the path you would take to get to those 2 houses I mentioned earlier. Looking on Street View, it looks like access to the stop in the other direction is even worse. There isn't really even a place to stand at the stop itself. I actually came across some online discussion about this pedestrian crossing amongst some Blue Mountains locals, several of whom said they'd lived in the area their whole lives and had never seen these traffic lights go red. So I hope our visit here created a novel new experience for some of these motorists. I'm actually really unsure what the use case is for this bus connection. Both routes also connect with the railway at the stations either side of here with better and safer facilities, so I'm not sure why you'd choose to change at Linden specifically. As we head back up the access path, with a normally hourly frequency during the day, there's plenty of time for some more skink spotting.
As you can see here, in a small crack in the rocks, a lizard searches for prey. And what's he found? A beetle. He makes the kill. The beetle struggles, just like he did in high school, and is off.
And while we're on the topic of reptiles, I did appreciate this railway-specific list of common snakes sighted in rail corridors and depots. An operational challenge of these tightly curved Blue Mountains platforms is that the guard, who needs to check all doors are clear of passengers before departing, can't see the whole train from their position in the rear cab because the building is in the way. Here you can see the guard of this 4-car V-set walks forward to a point where he can see the whole train, blows his whistle, walks back to his compartment and presses the close doors button, walks forward again to check the now closed doors are still clear, then back to his compartment again to give the right away signal to the driver to depart, followed by observing the departure from the open doorway, as is standard practice on all New South Wales passenger trains. For 8-car V-sets, they actually have a second guard acting as a repeater in the middle of the train, but the problem has been eliminated on the new D-sets, which have an array of CCTV cameras giving the guard a view of all doors from their compartment. Like most Australian railway stations, Linden has a Telstra payphone, which is lucky because I just remembered I promised this would be a Christmas video. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this short visit to Linden. Hope you all have a great holidays and a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you all in 2026. Thanks very much for watching.